This is my kefir cultured butter made with easy kefir. You're going to need 1 quart of heavy whipping cream that is pasteurized, not ultra pasteurized. You're going to place that in a glass quart jar. That's what works the best, or a bowl that you can put a lid on. And then you're going to add 1 package of easy kefir. This doesn't work very well with kefir grains because they get stuck in the cream. So easy kefir works the best to use this. And you put 1 package in there, and then you mix it up. You can use a whisk or a spoon. It kind of does its own thing. It gets mixed up really well, just a little bit of mixing. Put a lid on it. Leave it on the counter for 24 hours. If your house is really cold, it might take longer. And then in the morning when it's done, or the day when it's done, you're going to get a food processor and you're going to place your creamy, easy kefir into a food processor. This works best in a food processor. Don't use a blender. That won't work very well to make butter. You're going to put the lid on it, but you're going to let it run for about 3 to 5 minutes. And you'll kind of hear it change when it starts to separate the butter from the whey. And you want a little bit of ice water close by because you're going to use that to help separate the buttermilk from the butter. See how you see big clumps in there? That's when you know that it's done. You'll see that it's kind of clumped up, the butter has. So you're going to take that out of the food processor and you're going to put it in a strainer. And all of the buttermilk will start to fall to the bottom, but you're going to press it out with a spatula. And I just kind of move it around until all the buttermilk, or I want to call it whey, but it's really buttermilk, which is really whey. So you're going to watch that go to the bottom of the bowl. And you can use this in recipes, what's left over. Take the ice out of your ice water and pour it over the butter. And you want to remove the whey if you want to use it for something else before you put the ice water on it. But that's going to keep it cold, because if the butter's not cold, it doesn't make butter very well. So you want to keep it nice and cold. It likes about 62 degrees. If it's not whipping into butter, it's probably because it's gotten too warm. So pour a bunch of ice water over that, and this will help press out all the buttermilk into the bottom of the bowl and form it into butter. That's one of the things you got to do, is keep it a little cold. It's very creamy when you do this in the beginning, but once it gets in the fridge, it gets hard like butter. So then what I do is I have these butter paddles. You don't have to have them. You can just use your hands or form it however you want. But place all the butter onto a board. And I'll link these little butter paddles, and they can also make other things too. Try to get the butter off the bottom of the strainer, because some of it will try to go through. And then what you're going to do is you're going to form it into butter, or you can just put it in a bowl and use it as it is. But I like to do this to get the rest of the buttermilk out. And these paddles kind of push out the buttermilk in the butter, because the more buttermilk you can get out, the longer your butter will stay preserved and taste good, because that buttermilk can give it an off flavor. So these little paddles kind of splash out the water, or the buttermilk. And then they also can form little butter patties, or they can make it into shapes that if you like. And it's kind of fun to do anyway. I make mine into round. Sometimes I leave a big bowl of butter, which we use a lot. I like it that way too, but it does get hard once it's in the fridge. So I just form it into the sticks that you kind of get from the store. And once you get it formed the way you want, and it gives it little ridges, I try to pat up the buttermilk with a paper towel. And you can also wrap the butter in a paper towel and get more buttermilk out that way. And then I'll just place it on parchment paper or wax paper, fold it up, put it in the fridge. It'll get really hard and if you want it softened, you can leave it out. It'll make beautiful, cultured, probiotic kefir butter that has the most wonderful flavor. You'll really like this. It's one of my favorite things. Kefir cultured butter.